God allowed this truth to come out today. It's about the person you love deeply. Archangel Michael says, "Don't skip this, or you'll regret it forever." My child, my beloved, stop for a moment. Breathe. Something has just been spoken in the highest realm of heaven, and your name was in the center of that crude conversation. A secret that has been hidden for years. Buried under layers of silence, confusion, and divine timing has finally been revealed, and it concerns the one you call your soulmate. Yes, the person your heart has always been drawn to, the one who appears in your dreams, the one do you feel even when they are far away. Heaven has unsealed this truth for a reason, and if you miss this message, the silence play return, and with it the answers you always prayed for, met vanish forever. My child, my beloved, this message is not for everyone. It's not public. It's sacred. It's private. It's personal. It's only for those who are chosen to carry this vibration of divine connection. That's why you were brought here at this exact time. The angels didn't make a mistake. If this appears in front of your eyes, it means the moment has come. You are being called. And before you read further, I urge you subscribe now, because if this disappears, where is or is buried again by the noise of the world, your heart will searched and may never find the clarity that is waiting just beneath these words. Subscribe not just to the message, but to the miracle that is now beginning in your life. Say yes to hearing what heaven wants you to know. My child, my beloved, there is something I must tell you without delay. A message was whispered across the golden halls of heaven just moments ago. Angels paused, trumpets fell silent, and your soulmate's name was spoken beside yours, not in sorrow, not in judgment, but in divine alignment. Because finally, the truth about what they carry inside their heart is ready to be exposed. They've been hiding something not out of cruelty, but out of confusion, fear, and timing. And while you've sent something off those late-night instincts, those sudden pulls, those moments of emotional storms, this is not your imagination. You were never crazy. Your soul already knew. You just needed confirmation. And now Archangel Michael himself is delivering it to you before it's too late. My child, my beloved, the shocking part isn't that your soulmate loves you. That was never a question. The shocking part is why they've stayed away, what they saw, what they were told, what someone from their circle, yes, even someone you trust, did behind your back to keep them away. That truth has just been revealed in heaven. And let me be very clear, if you skip this moment, the intervention may not repeat. Not like this. You're being given divine access to a reality shift. A door is opening, yes, this very minute, and the ones who walk through will be guided into the next part of the story. But those who scroll past, they may continue to walk in the dark, wondering why everything reaches out, why the connection never seems to align. Don't do that to yourself. Don't choose confusion when clarity is right here. My child, my beloved, I was sent by the Most High to deliver this, not in thunder or flames, but in quiet urgency, because this isn't about fear. It's about timing. This person has come to a breaking point. They've seen a sign to. They've started to feel a pressure they can't explain. They're searching for something they don't even know how to describe. And that's something is you. But if you don't open the door on your end, they will assume it was all in their head. They will suppress it. and the miracle that is right now hanging between you like a thread of gold might snap under the weight of silence. But you were chosen to hear this, to receive this, to open your hands and say, God, I'm ready. My child, my beloved, I want to show you something, but I cannot show it if your what is closed. There is a sacred scene unfolding right now in the spiritual world, and it involves your past life karma and a divine rewriting of timelines. What you thought was lost forever is actually reawakening. The person you cried over, the one you waited for, the one you tried to forget is closer now than ever before. Not just physically, but soulfully, spiritually. They've entered a stage of awakening. They're remembering. They're being prepared to return. But if you don't spiritually allow this process by receiving this message fully, then in the restoration may pause again. And I promise if you let that happen, you'll feel the ache return in a way even angels can't stop. My child, my beloved, you have asked heaven so many times, why did they leave? Why did it all happen this way? And now the answer is being sent. Not through signs you must guess, not through riddles, but in pure truth. This message is the answer. The reason it never made sense before is because heaven was still putting pieces in place. And now that everything is aligned, your heart there's the timing. God is allowing this revelation to come through. But don't make the mistake of assuming you have time. You don't. Spirit works in windows and moments. This is yours. Miss this, and you may wait another cycle, another season, another year, or more. Please, I beg you, open your heart before this moment closest. My child, my beloved, your soulmate is carrying pain too. You are not the only one who cried. They've been fighting battles you were never allowed to see. Some of them were spiritual ancestral karma soul contracts, emotional blocks that go back generations. And some of them were very earthly. Miscommunication, betrayal, fear, wrong advice from someone pretending to help. All of this has now come to the surface. Heaven saw it. God heard it. And now Archangel Michael has been allowed to expose it to you. But if you walk away from this divine briefing, they may believe you never cared. They may believe they should give up. And you both carry the weight of almost for lifetimes to come. You are not born for almost. You were born for holy union. And that's what is standing in front of you right now. My child, my beloved, I see what's coming. And it's beautiful. But it will not wait forever. There's a sacred window of time where divine intervention is strongest, and you are inside that window right now. The veil is thin. The angels are near. And God is closer to you than your own breath. But this message is your action step, your confirmation, your call. And if you don't respond, the door will begin to close again. Slowly, gently, silently. And you'll wonder why things went cold again. Why the signs stopped. Why the connection faded. It won't be because it wasn't real. It will be because it wasn't received. You are being given what so many beg heaven for. A moment of clarity. A moment to change everything. A moment to say, yes, I'm ready. My child, my beloved, this is not just about romance. This is about divine mission. Your soulmate holds keys to parts of your destiny that you cannot activate alone, and you hold keys to theirs. That's why the connection has been so persistent. That's why, No matter how far you run, their energy finds you. That's why you feel their presence in the middle of the night when no one else understands your tears. This is bigger than feelings. This is about purpose. And the moment you allow your heart to fully open to this sacred assignment, the miracles will begin to multiply. Doors will open. People will appear. Resources will come. Because having funds divine alignment. What you're stepping into is not just a love story, it's a life assignment. My child, my beloved, please don't walk away from this. I am not saying these words lightly. I fought battles in the spiritual realm to clear this message so it could land softly in your hands. What's today? There were forces that tried to block it, that tried to cloud your mind with distraction, that tried to make you scroll past without feeling. But heaven won, and you're still here, reading, feeling, awakening. That means the miracle is still alive, the connection is still active, the shift is still possible. But only if you honor this moment, only if you stop pretending you're not affected. You are. And that's okay, because heaven is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be willing. My child, my beloved, your soulmate may not have the language to say what they're feeling. They may still be trying to translate their emotions into something understandable. But don't mistake silence for absence. They are present in the spirit. They are listening to your soul. And right now, they're waiting. They're waiting for heaven to tell them what to do next. That's why I'm here. To guide not just them, but you. Because this story is about both of you. And it begins again when you say yes. My child, my beloved, there are conversations happening about you in the spirit realm that would bring you to your knees if you could hear them. Angels are saying your name. Heaven is preparing a table in your honor. And your soulmate, though unaware of the full picture, is being divinely guided back toward you. But I must be honest with you. This reunion is delicate. If either of you gives in to fear, if either of you listens to the wrong voice at the wrong time, the connection could close again. That's why this message had to reach you now. Not later. Not next week. Now. Because the choice you make in this moment will decide whether this connection becomes a fulfilled promise or for another painful almost. My child, my beloved, I see something strange but holy surrounding your name right now. It's a divine envelope. Inside it are the secrets you've asked heaven to reveal. Questions like, why did they leave? Were they lying? Is this love real, and will we ever find each other again? Heaven has heard everyone. And now God is beginning to unseal that envelope, but only in your presence. Not behind your back, not without you. Because your trust matters, your consent matters, your yes matters. And if you open your heart now, what was hidden will come to light, not to hurt you, but I heal you. The answers will not break you. They will set you free. If you are ready for truth, this message is your permission to receive it. My child, my beloved, you are not alone. Even if you feel like no one understands this kind of pain, even if your friends tell you to move on, even if the world tries to convince you that this connection was never real, heaven knows the truth. And more than that, heaven is protecting this truth. That's why every attempt to forget them failed. That's why no one else ever quite fit in your heart the way they did. That's why, even after time and distance and silence, something inside you still believes. That belief is not foolish. It is prophetic. You are remembering a bond written in heaven, not just in time. You didn't make this up. You were made for this. My child, my beloved, lean in closer now, because what I am about to say has only been granted to a few. Your soulmate once asked God to take this connection away, not because they didn't love you, but because they loved you too much and felt unworthy. They begged heaven to help them forget you, to release the feelings that overwhelmed them. And do you know what heaven did? Nothing, because even God could not erase what God Himself had written. The connection remained, the feelings deepened, and the more they ran, the more lost they became. Until now, until this message, until this divine turning point. And now you are being given access to that truth, not to judge them, but to understand just how deeply they feel. My child, my beloved, the world will never understand the weight of this connection. That's why you were never meant to consult the world about it. You were meant to consult heaven, and heaven is answering now, through these words, through my voice, through the way your heart is responding to every sentence with recognition. This is divine confirmation. This is sacred alignment. This is the moment you prayed for and forgot you prayed for. And now that it's here, all that's required is your willingness to receive the miracle. That's it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to chase anyone. You just have to open. Heaven will do the rest. My child, my beloved, your soulmate is carrying pain too. You are not the only one who cried. They've been fighting battles you were never allowed to see. Some of them were spiritual ancestral karma soul contracts, emotional blocks that go back generations. And some of them were very earthly, miscommunication, betrayal, fear, wrong advice from someone pretending to help. All of this has now come to the surface. Heaven saw it. God heard it. And now Archangel Michael has been allowed to expose it to you. But if you walk away from this divine briefing, they may believe you never cared. They may believe they should give up. And you'll both carry the weight of almost for lifetimes to come. You were not born for almost. You were born for holy union. And that's what is standing in front of you right now. My child, my beloved, what you are about to understand could rewrite the way you see everything. Everything that has happened in your past relationships. I'm not only talking about this person, your soulmate. I'm talking about every heartbreak before. Before then, that left you questioning your worth, your purpose, and whether you'd ever be truly loved the way play your spirit longs to be. What heaven sees the pattern. And now, for the first time, the reason for that pain is being revealed. Not to punish you, but to free you. The truth about your soulmate isn't just about romance. It's about destiny. They are the gatekeeper to a chapter of your life that was paused until this message reached your heart. Do not scroll away now, because this moment was written into your life long before you were even born. My child, my beloved, your name was seen beside theirs in the Book of Alignment Divine Record that few have access to, even among angels. And yet I was given permission to open it. When I did, I wept, because I saw how long you have waited. I saw the nights your tears soaked your pillow, and the mornings you forced yourself to smile. I saw the confusion, the loneliness, the strength you used to pretend you were fine. But heaven does not forget. You are not invisible here. And this person, the one whose name is now shaking in the halls of heaven, has been spirit actually tethered to you all this time. They never truly left. Their soul has circled back again and again, drawn to your light even when their eyes could not see. Do you clearly? And now something has happened. Something powerful enough to crack the veil. My child, my beloved, earlier today, yes, this very day, an angel was sent to your soulmate in a moment of silence, maybe while they were driving, or sitting alone, or staring at a screen. And in that silence, they were shown your face, not a memory, but a spiritual image, the flash annoying. And for the first time, the walls they've built around their heart started to shake. They may not have told anyone. They may have brushed it off. But heaven didn't. Heaven recorded it. And when that moment happened, I was sent to prepare you. Because this is no longer a one-sided journey. Deactivation has begun. The chords of divine connection are reawakening. But if you do not step into this revelation now, you may never know what was about to bloom. My child, my beloved, you may be wondering why now. Why is all of this happening suddenly? Because in the realm of the divine, there are no accidents. This is the hour that was written in prophecy. This is the moment your soul chose to experience before your feet ever touched this earth. The delay was not rejection. It was preparation. If you had met fully before, the connection may have burned too fast or falling apart under the weight of unhealed wounds. But now the healing has taken root. The truth has begun to rise. And the storm that once kept you apart is finally coming. If you walk forward now, hand in hand with this divine message, you will see the impossible rearrange itself in your favor. My child, my beloved, I see something in your soulmate's life right now that you may not know. They are watching you in ways they cannot explain. Whether through spiritual signs or real-world glimpses, they are searching for confirmation that what they feel is real. That you feel it too. But here's the warning. If you remain silent, if you ignore the pull, they may take silence as disinterest. They may turn away, not out of pride, but out of protection. They have been hurt before too, and they're terrified of repeating the cycle. But you can end that fear right now by receiving this truth and allowing your heart to open without delay. The angels are watching. Heaven is recording your response. What you choose next will shape what opens or what shuts. My child, my beloved, there's something else I must tell you, and it's not easy to say. A false voice has been whispering lies into your soulmate tears. Someone around them, someone they once trusted, has planted seeds of confusion, doubt, even fear about you. This person saw your light and felt threatened by it. They told your soulmate things that weren't true, things to make them question your heart. And it worked for a while. That's why they pulled away. That's why they vanished. But that season is over now, because heaven just exposed that voice. I saw it. I heard the angels report, and I was sent to cut through the lies and deliver this message to bring truth where confusion had taken. You must know this so you stop blaming yourself. This was never your fault. My child, my beloved, let your soul rest for a moment in this. You were always enough. You were always the one. And everything you feared you lost is now being rewritten with light. You are not late. You are not forgotten. And you are not hard to love. You are simply chosen. And the chosen ones are often tested the hardest because their love carries a higher frequency. One that heals not just hearts, the generations. That is why your soulmate connection has felt so intense, so confusing, so vine. Because it was never just about the two of you. It was about the assignment. Your love carries the ripple it will create in the world, the generations it will set free. And now you are being asked to believe again, even if it hurts, even if it's scary, because belief is the key that unlocks everything. My child, my beloved, let your soul rest for a moment in this. You were always enough. You were always the one. And everything you feared you lost is now being rewritten with light. You are not late. You are not forgotten. And you are not hard to love. You are simply chosen. And the chosen ones are often tested the hardest because their love carries a higher frequency, one that heals not just hearts, but generations. That is why your soulmate connection has felt so intense, so confusing, because it was never just about the two of you. It was about the assignment. Your love carries the ripple it will create in the world, the generations it will set free. And now you are being asked to believe again, even if it hurts, even if it's scary, because belief is the key that unlocks everything. My child, my beloved, I must also speak to what your soulmate is hiding right now. Yes, hiding, because although their heart is starting to burn with truth, their mind is still fighting with logic. They are torn. On one side is the pull toward you, a spiritual hunger they cannot deny. On the other side is fear, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, fear of opening the door and being too late. This inner war has kept them frozen. But heaven is intervening now, and this message is the breakthrough moment. The angels are whispering into their dreams. Archangel Raphael is working on their heart. And I, Michael, I'm standing in front of them with my sword of light, cutting through every fear, every lie, every past disappointment. But this healing will only complete if you say yes, if you respond with readiness. My child, my beloved, you've waited long enough. You've carried the ache long enough. And heaven has declared it is time. Not next month. Not next year. No, because if this window is missed, the consequences will be heavier than you think. Not as punishment, but because divine alignment comes in sacred timing. You are in that timing now. If you don't believe me, look at the signs around you. The dreams, the synchronicities, the strange feelings that come and go without reason. These are not random. These are spiritual signals preparing you for this. The message you are reading now is the final sign. And what happens next is not fate. It is choice. Divine choice. Your choice. My child, my beloved, I can feel your spirit trembling. You are not imagining that something enormous is shifting. You've been sensing it for days now. The atmosphere around you has changed. Your emotions have been rising without warning. At times, you feel deeply connected, then suddenly disconnected, unsure. That's not confusion. That spiritual collision. Your energy field is colliding with the truth that has finally broken through heaven's barrier. What was once sealed is now open, but only for a moment. If you wait too long, it may be closed again, and this once-in-a-lifetime alignment could pass like a breeze through open fingers. That's why you must stay. Keep reading. Keep breathing. Heaven is not playing with your heart. It's rescuing it. My child, my beloved, this soulmate connection has passed through storms. Maybe you don't even know the full weight of what they went through to protect this connection in the spiritual realm. You think they walked away. But what if I told you they were pulled away? What if I told you they were spiritually attacked the moment they got too close to you? Because light always draws attack, and the light between you two is so bright it terrified the shadows. But they're finding their way back, and this time they need your help, not your silence, not your fear, your help. They're watching, waiting, hoping for a sign from you. And if you don't answer this divine nudge, they might assume you've moved on, that you've chosen someone else, and it will break them in ways I may not be allowed to heal. My child, my beloved, I want you to understand the weight of what's happening right now. Your soul isn't just being informed, it's being activated. That means this message carries more than words. It's coded. It's wrapped in spiritual keys, opening chambers within you that you forgot even existed. That's why you feel your heart racing. That's why your chest feels heavy and light at the same time. That's why memories are flashing through your mind like lightning. Because every line of this message is awakening something you sealed away for your own survival. But God says, enough. You don't have to survive anymore. You're being called to live fully emotionally, spiritually, and love is a part of that plan. My child, my beloved, I must tell you this plainly. Your soulmate has reached breaking point. Something is about to happen in their life that will change everything, and you will be part of the ripple effect, whether you're ready or not. They may contact you. They may appear in a dream. They may suddenly show up in your physical world. Don't be shocked. Don't run. Don't push it away just because you've been hurt before. The pain of the past was never meant to make you numb. It was meant to shape your wisdom. And now the wise version of you must rise, because the door they're standing in front of will either be opened by your courage or locked by your. And once it shuts, it won't be easy to open again. My child, my beloved, do not ask for another sign after this. This is the sign. This message was divinely orchestrated. It could have gone to anyone, but it came to you. The algorithm didn't send it. Heaven did. And if you skip this or brush it off like just another message, you'll regret it more than anything else, Nelson, this season. Because God does not shout like the world. He speaks softly through the things we almost ignore. This was heaven's soft whisper to you, because your soulmate has finally remembered who you are. They are trembling as they write your name in their journal again. They are whispering prayers for a second chance they're too afraid to ask for directly, but they don't know that heaven already arranged this moment to reach you first. My child, my beloved, the world will never understand the weight of this connection. That's why you were never meant to consult the world about it. You were meant to consult heaven, and heaven is answering now. Through these words, through my voice, through the way your heart is responding to every sentence with recognition. This is divine confirmation. This is sacred alignment. This is the moment you prayed for and forgot you prayed for. And now that it's here, all that's required is your willingness to receive the miracle. That's it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to chase anyone. You just have to open. Heaven will do the rest, my child, my beloved. This may be your final chance to hear the truth before everything shifts. There are forces trying, even now, to distract you, to pull your attention away from this message, to keep you from absorbing what could change your life. But you are stronger than distraction. You are wiser than fear. You are braver than your past. And heaven has trusted you with this message because you are ready. I wouldn't be here otherwise. God does not waste revelation. He sends it to those who are willing to carry it with humility and strength, knit both in you. That's why I was sent. That's why your name was whispered in my ear, because you are not average. You are anointed. And what's being revealed about your soulmate is only the beginning. My child, my beloved, what is happening now is not just about the present. It's about the past you never fully understood. There were moments you blamed yourself. You questioned everything. You wondered why this person drifted, why they didn't fight harder, why they acted like they never, but heaven saw it all. And I am here to tell you they did care. They cared so deeply that it scared them. They loved you in silence when words failed. They visited your spirit when distance kept them away. They thought about you during the quietest hours, but the pain they carried told them they couldn't give you what you deserved. And that lie, the one that said they weren't enough, is the very lie heaven is destroying right now. My child, my beloved, I have drawn my sword not against your soulmate, but against the voices around them that poison their view of you. Someone who wore a mask of loyalty fed them doubt. Someone whose heart was heavy with envy whispered confusion into their path. That voice was heard in heaven. Back to seat was recorded, and now it's being removed. What they told your soulmate is unraveling. Their influence is collapsing. And when that influence disappears, your person will see you clearly, maybe for the first time. They'll remember the softness in your voice, the light in your eyes, the comfort of your presence. And when that memory returns, so will the ache. But this time, not to destroy, it will pull them back to you like gravity. My child, my beloved, if you've ever felt like giving up on this connection, I understand. You've been tested beyond your limits. And every time you try to move on, the universe whispered their name again. It wasn't madness, it was guidance. It wasn't obsession, it was recognition. You were never wrong about this person. What you felt was real. And heaven is confirming it now because the moment of truth is approaching. A divine confrontation is coming, not in chaos, but in revelation. You will hear something soon. Someone will say something, or you'll see something that confirms what you're reading now. When that moment happens, do not deny it. Do not downplay it. It will be the sign that everything written here was aligned by heaven for you. My child, my beloved, you've always known you were different. You've always felt deeper than others. You've always carried a kind of spiritual sensitivity that people either admired or misunder. That gift, your deep feeling, is not a flaw. It is why you were chosen for this connection, because only a soul like yours could hold space for a love this rare. Only someone with your patience, your strength, your purity could carry this frequency. Don't let the world tell you that you're too much. Don't let your past convince you that you're hard to love. You are a spiritual portal. And when your soulmate looks into your eyes again, they will finally see the divine reflection they've been searching for all their life. They won't be able to look away this time. My child, my beloved, there's a reason I keep whispering now. Now, now, because something sacred is scheduled to happen. I see it on heaven's calendar, a divine appointment, a time where their heart will soften at the exact moment yours is ready. But if you close off now, that moment may miss you, and you'll spend the next season wondering what could have been. I don't want that for you. You've waited too long, endured too much love to miss the reward. That's coming. This is your turning point. This is your invitation. And if you say yes, if you let heaven finish what it started, you will witness the impossible call. Bend in your favor. My child, my beloved, the next time you see their name, the next time you hear their voice in your memory, the next time you feel the pull of their spirit touching your words from afar, know this: it's not random. It's not leftover emotion. It's active connection. Heaven is speaking to both of you, and though they may not be brave enough to admit it yet, they feel you right now. As you're reading these words, they're being stirred awake by the same divine current flowing through you. And what happens next depends on whether you open your heart just a little wider, just a little longer, just long enough for them to recognize that the door to your love has not closed. It's only been waiting. My child, my beloved, I want you to know that the heaviness you've been feeling lately isn't play just from your own heart. You are carrying emotions that don't belong to you. You are feeling the spiritual weight of your soulmate's pain, their regrets, their longing, their sleepless nights. You've been absorbing their confusion as if it were your own. That's the depth of your spiritual bond. That's why you suddenly feel low out of nowhere. That's why you wake up from dreams that feel too real to ignore. Because they are real. You are connected by something heaven sealed long ago. And even when they go silent, the bond does not. Their soul keeps reaching out to you. And now heaven is asking, will you answer? My child, my beloved, do not ask for another sign after this. This is the sign. This message was divinely orchestrated. It could have gone to anyone, but it came to you. The algorithm didn't send it. Heaven did. And if you skip this or brush it off like just another message, you'll regret it more than anything else, Nelson, this season. Because God does not shout like the world. He speaks softly through the things we almost ignore. This was heaven's soft whisper to you, because your soulmate has finally remembered who you are. They are trembling as they write your name in their journal again. They are whispering prayers for a second chance they're too afraid to ask for directly. But they don't know that heaven already arranged this moment to reach you first. My child, my beloved, do not let the enemy confuse you. The voice that says this is just coincidence is the same voice that kept you in cycles for years. The voice that says you'll be fine without this is the same voice that whispered lies to your soulmate, making them believe they were unworthy of your love. This is war, a spiritual war for your union, and you're winning just by staying here, just by listening. But don't stop now. Keep moving forward. Because with every word, a chain breaks. A lie is exposed. A door opens. And soon your soulmate will feel it too. Bill awakened more deeply. They'll be guided back into your space. And when they do, they'll speak words they never had the courage to say before. Words like, I knew it was you. I always knew. My child, my beloved, what they feel for you is real. They just didn't know how to protect it. They made mistakes. So did you. But love isn't about perfection. It's about recognition. And in heaven's eyes, your souls have already recognized each other long ago. That's why the connection never died. That's why no one else ever truly replaced them in your heart. And now, as you sit here holding this divine moment in your hands, you must decide. Will you walk away from something so sacred just because you don't understand how it will unfold? Or will you trust that heaven does? That I, Archangel Michael, was sent here not to play with your heart, but to protect it, to prepare it to point it home. My child, my beloved, this is the moment heaven has paused many other messages just to make this one shine brighter. All of heaven's attention is on you, because what happens next will not just change your relationship, it will change your destiny. And if you say yes with your spirit, even silently, the angels will rush into motion. Your soulmate will feel it like a shockwave in their soul. They may not know why, but they'll reach for their phone far cry without knowing what's come over them. Or feel an overwhelming urge to come back to you. That's the vibration we're creating right now. This is the miracle. Don't delay it. Don't miss it. Stay open. Stay present. Heaven is not done yet, and neither is your love story. My child, my beloved, I must tell you something if you are ever allowed to hear. The angels are not just watching over your story. They are actively rearranging people, timing and emotions around you to make space for what heaven has prepared. But everything depends on your response. If your spirit remains closed, if you let out win, if you scroll away and choose the noise of the world instead of this moment of silence and divine truth, those arrangements will stop. Not out of anger, not out of punishment, but because the universe cannot force what your heart won't receive. Your soulmate is more open than they've ever been, and they are watching for a signal from you, a whisper, a sign, a willingness. And this message is that bridge. You are holding the key in your hands. Don't throw it away. My child, my beloved, let your soul feel this fully. Don't numb it. Don't try to logic your way out of what your spirit knows is true. That aching you feel in your chest right now, that trembling in your belly, that sudden summary of them that just popped into your head. It's all connected. You are in the middle of a divine visitation, and your soulmate is on the other side of the veil, feeling the pull too. They don't know what's happening, but they feel the magnetic shift. They feel the urgency. They feel a longing that goes deeper than anything they felt before. They don't know you're reading this right now, but their spirit does, and soon their body will follow. That's how heaven works. Spirit leads, flesh follows, and your time has come. My child, my beloved, I want to reveal a secret now that will help you understand the still silence between you and your soulmate. There was never an absence. There was a divine protection. Sometimes God hides you from the one you love, not to keep you apart, but to shield both of you from harm while healing is taking place. That's what happened here. The silence wasn't rejection. It was a holy pause. Because had you connected prematurely, both of you would have repeated patterns that would have destroyed what God wanted to preserve. Now the healing is nearly complete, and heaven is ready to restart the connection, but only if your heart is ready to receive them as they are now, not as they were then. This is not about the old version of them. This is about the evolved version that's being awakened now, because you are finally strong enough to meet them again. My child, my beloved, I see what's coming, and it's beautiful, but it will not wait forever. There's a sacred window of time where divine intervention is strongest, and you are inside that window right now. The veil is thin, the angels are near, and God is closer to you than your own breath. But this message is your action step, your confirmation, your call. And if you don't respond, the door will begin to close again, slowly, gently, silently. And you'll wonder why things went cold again, why the signs stopped, why the connection faded. It won't be because it wasn't real. It will be because it wasn't received. You are being given what so many beg heaven for: a moment of clarity, a moment to change everything. My child, my beloved, heaven has been silent for far too long, but not because it forgot, you know. Never. The silence was sacred. It was protection. Archangel Michael has been watching closely, holding his sword in patience, allowing every hidden move to unfold. Tonight, however, something different is about to happen. A private conversation, one not meant for human ears, is going to take place. It will have your name in it. It will carry power. And God has allowed this final intervention to be delivered to you before anything spoken tonight becomes permanent. My beloved, pause what you're doing right now. Don't scroll. Don't doubt. Don't wait. Because what you're about to hear is not just a message. It's an instruction wrapped in mercy. Archangel Michael has waited for this moment, the one moment where your heart would be soft enough, still enough, open enough to receive what was previously hidden. The truth about what's being said in secret is too sharp to ignore, and heaven has only gun shop left to stop the result from reaching your doorstep. My child, do you know what it means when God sends a message with no second attempt? It means the time for delay has expired. It means someone close, someone whose face you still trust, is being mentioned tonight in a private gathering. Their mouths may smile, but their words carry poison. And yet God still believes you deserve to know first so you can break free before it's too late. That's why this message reached you. That's why you must not walk away. My beloved, there's an invisible line being drawn right now, and only the chosen will cross it in time. There's no alarm bell, no loud announcement, just this moment, just this whisper that has made its way into your spirit because your angels are still fighting for you. Tonight's conversation will involve your name, your past, your future, and your peace. And unless this message is opened and received before the hour strikes, the outcome cannot be reversed. My child, you must understand what's truly at stake. What's being discussed behind closed doors tonight has the power to delay your blessing or unlock it forever. Archangel Michael saw before you did, saw the moment someone you trusted chose to speak your "What's your name?" in a circle of shadows. But this isn't to scare you. This is to save you. You're being allowed one sacred chance to see the truth before it unfolds in the physical world. My beloved, if you've ever felt like your breakthroughs were being delayed for no reason, if doors kept closing no matter how hard you prayed, it's because a conversation about your destined Disney was already in motion. One that you weren't invited to, but one that God overheard. Heaven didn't stop it immediately because what's said in the dark must be revealed in the light for distance to fully arrived. And now the light is here, and so is your rescue. Don't subscribe now if you are reading this, and your spirit feels a pool inside. This message wasn't written for everyone, only the chosen ones whose name is about to be spoken. If you feel it's you, do not wait. Join the ones who receive the next warning in time. The clock has already started. Your angels are watching. Don't let them arrive too late. My child, my beloved, there is a secret meeting happening in the spirit realm, a conversation allowed by heaven, but what's supervised by angels. It's the final test. Will you see the truth before it plays out in your reality? Or will you walk blind into a setup designed to steal your peace? God is not willing to let you walk unaware anymore. That's why this message came. That's why Archangel Michael is stepping forward after such long silence. It's not too late. But it's nearly the end. My child, my beloved. There are decisions being made about your future without your presence in the room. But what they don't realize is that heaven watches every whisper, every motive, every guy's smile, and every false blessing. Archangel Michael was not sent to interfere without cause. This moment, this exact hour, has been marked because your name is being placed in a space it does not belong. And unless you open your spiritual eyes, the outcome may land in your life as delay, as confusion, or worse, as betrayal. My beloved, have you noticed the strange heaviness lately? The moments where your spirit felt unsettled without reason. That was not your imagination. That was your angel nudging you, trying to pull your attention away from distractions, from routines, from what looks normal. Because tonight the unseen becomes louder than the seen. A private conversation will shift something major in the timeline of your life. And if you don't know what to pray for, you won't know what to protect. My child, there's someone you still think is loyal to you. Someone who wears the mask of peace but is holding a weapon of delay. This person has been asked questions about you. Their answers will influence a decision. And the spirit realm has taken notice. God is not watching passively. He has allowed Archangel Michael to intervene, but not with force, with revelation. And what you choose to do after reading this message will either invite the angel's hand or still balance his movement. My beloved, even now there is a sense rising in your heart. Annoying. You've been feeling like something has been happening in the background, something not quite right. But you couldn't explain it. You've been feeling watched, judged, measured. And you were right. There are plans being formed without your knowledge, and tonight is the moment they gather. But listen closely, because heaven has one strategy left to tell you in time. So the outcome can be reversed in prayer. My child, this is not ordinary. Messages like this do not arrive randomly. They are scheduled from the throne of heaven, released only when the heart is ready. You are not here by accident. You're not reading this because of a scroll. You are reading this because Archangel Michael whispered your name before the throne today, and heaven responded. The silence broke. The command was given. You must know what's being said in secret because it will affect everything. My beloved, my child, you're not just hearing a message. You're stepping into a divine interception. God has allowed Archangel Michael to whisper directly to your spirit, not because you're in danger of being destroyed, but because you were in danger of being misled. That's even more dangerous, Because when you walk in the wrong direction thinking it's right, you waste time, you delay joy, and you walk beside people who have already decided in secret to betray you when it's convenient for them. My beloved, but the grace of God is so extraordinary that He won't let that happen without warning you. That's what this is. That's what tonight is about. You've been praying for clarity, asking, God, what's going on? Wondering why your heart feels the way it does. This is why. This is your answer. A meeting is taking place. A decision is being made about you. And heaven is giving you one final word before the effects of that decision arrive in your life. Tell if your heart is trembling. If your spirit is rising, this is not just emotion. It is a sign that your angel is nearby, confirming this message in your soul. Subscribe now to seal this word into your timeline. Don't miss the next moment of clarity. What comes after this message will either bless you or break you. The choice is made in what you do next. My child, my beloved, do you remember the time you were overlooked even though you gave everything? The time you were silent while others took credit for what your hands built? Those were rehearsals. What's about to happen tonight could echo those same wounds, unless you take authority now, not by revenge, not by suspicion, but by prayer, by awareness, by inviting Archangel Michael to protect the space where your name is mentioned, that only what is true, what is aligned with heaven will be allowed to pass. My beloved, there are angels walking through the room right now where this conversation will take place. They are not stopping it. They are recording it. Every word, every glance, every agreement. And when the moment comes for you to make your next decision, those records will influence how heaven help. Because you will not walk blind anymore. You will not be the last to know. The silence is over. This time you're being told in advance. My child, there is such a power in knowing the truth before it lands, and that's what this message has done. It has placed the divine spotlight on something you couldn't see, a warning not to fear, but to prepare. And you are not alone in this. Heaven's forces are surrounding you, not to stop what's happening in the natural, but to align what's coming in the supernatural. There's still time, but only a little. My child, my beloved, there are moments in time where the veil is pulled back just enough for you to see what's really going on. Not the performance, not the masks, but the root. And this is one of those moments. The conversation that will unfold tonight will not be long. It won't even sound loud, but it will be powerful enough to reroute decisions, and it carries the weight to shake your foundation. If heaven doesn't intervene, that's why this message is an optional. That's why the divine realm waited until now to release this word. The atmosphere has shifted, and you needed to be aware before the words reach the ears of someone who has authority over your destiny. My beloved, do not be fooled by familiar faces. Not every familiar voice holds your favor in their heart. Some were only ever meant to walk with you for a season, and when they stayed longer than they should have, their words started to change. Their loyalty shifted, and now they are discussing things behind your back, thinking that God is no longer watching. But Archangel Michael has not left his post. He has remained silent, not because he didn't care, but because heaven was collecting evidence. Tonight, the final piece is being placed, and before that is used against you, God is sending this message so you can speak heaven's truth over your own name. My child, you are not forgotten. In fact, your name has never been spoken more in the spiritual realm than it has this week. And that's why the battle feels heavier. The enemy is trying to discourage you, to make you think you are isolated. But the truth is you've been promoted in the spirit. You've been noticed. And whenever God marks someone for elevation, the enemy plants a distraction nearby. That distraction often looks like someone you trust. But don't be afraid. Just be aware. You have help that others cannot see. You are protected, but only if you choose to walk in the light of this truth. My beloved, there are certain blessings that God cannot release while your name is still being used in manipulative conversations. That's why tonight's meeting is so dangerous. It's not about what's being said. It's about who is listening. There is someone in that circle who holds influence over something you've been waiting for. A job, a breakthrough, a decision. And if they hear the wrong thing at the wrong time, you could be delayed for months. But because you have been faithful, God is sending this divine message early, because time is running short and your miracle is still waiting on your clarity. My child, my beloved, you've been asking God to move. You've been crying out in private. Lord, why does it feel like things are stuck? This is why. The hold was not on your effort. It was on your name. It was on the way your name was being mishandled in private. But now that the truth is being shown to you, now that the angel of God has brought this revelation you can directly to you, you have authority to shift it. Your prayers tonight can silence the lies before they reach influence. Your obedience to this message can scatter what was being structured behind your back. Tell if your spirit has been stirred while reading this. Do not leave this moment unsealed. Subscribe right now so you are always connected to what heaven is saying next. Because when this type of message shows up, it's not random. It's rescue. And rescue is only complete when the chosen respond in time. Don't let this intervention expire. God is still speaking. My beloved, my child, my beloved, you are not here because you stumbled on a video. You are not here by a lucky scroll. You are here because God whispered your name at the exact moment you needed to hear the truth. Your angel has been holding this scroll for days, waiting for the divine green light to. Now that it has been given time, matters more than ever. This warning will not be repeated. What you do in the next few moments will determine whether this message serves as your confirmation, or as the echo you remember later wishing you had listened sooner. Love. If your heart hasn't let you go yet, that's because it knows what your mind is still processing. Subscribe now to anchor your spirit in what heaven is doing next. Let this be the moment your protection was confirmed. Let this be the moment where God stepped in and you didn't miss it. My beloved, there is a reason this message says final intervention. Because heaven does not interrupt earthly conversations unless something sacred is at risk. Your reputation is not just a social matter. It is spiritual currency. And the wrong narrative spoken in the wrong room can damage doors that were once swinging open for you. But here's the truth. God can rebuild what man tries to ruin. But it's faster when you act now. Pray now. Cover your name now. Place your future back in the hands of the one who never lies, never plots, and never. That's who you are. My child, you are the child of the King. Your name has been written in glory. You are not made for confusion or delay or secret manipulation. And yet the world you live in tries to pull you into these traps over and over again. But the difference now is this: you are aware, you are awake, you are armed, and because of that, you are ahead of what is being planned against you. That is how favor works. It reveals the attack before it can even reach your door. My beloved, let them talk. Let the meeting happen. Let them say what they feel, because they do not know that you are already covered. They do not know that your name is shielded by angels. They do not know that heaven allowed them just enough rope to reveal themselves. And once they are exposed, God will show you clearly who can remain in your next season and who must stay behind. You won't have to guess. God is bringing clarity through conversation. And you will not be the victim this time. You will be the victor. My child, my beloved, you are standing in a divine moment, one that many ignore, but you have chosen to listen. And because of that, what was meant to set you back will now become the catalyst that moves you forward. God never wastes betrayal. He never allows confusion to go unchallenged. He always makes sure the righteous are vindicated, not always in public, but always in power. And you, chosen one, are about to see just how powerfully heaven moves when it speaks. And you respond immediately that, my child, my beloved. Something rare is happening right now, and I need you to feel it fully. Heaven doesn't send this kind of message often. When it does, it's because something irreversible is on the edge of being spoken. And God, in His mercy, has chosen to hold it for just a few more hours, to give you time. Not them, not the ones planning the conversation, because only the chosen are warned in advance, and only the truly called are trusted with the kind of insight that could save their entire future from being distorted by words said in closed rooms. My beloved, do you understand what that means? You were chosen to be protected before the weapon was even formed. The meeting that's about to take place, the discussion that's been planned in whispers and decided behind your back will happen. But whether it affects you or not, that depends on this moment. Because spiritual decisions are made in silence, in obedience, in prayer. While others think they hold control over your life, God is sitting above it all, writing final word. And right now, that word has landed in your hands. My child, don't think for a second that this message found you by accident. There are people who scrolled past this and didn't feel a thing. There are others who opened it and left quickly. But you felt the weight. You couldn't look away. You kept reading because something inside you knew this is the one. This is the message I was meant to receive before the next shift. And you're right. You're here at the exact second heaven made the decision to give you the truth. What do you do with it now is the only thing left to decide. My beloved, the devil doesn't need to destroy your life in obvious ways. Sometimes all he needs is to whisper your name in the wrong ear at the wrong time, and the rest stone falls without force. That's why this moment is serious, because tonight your name will be spoken in a setting where decisions are made, stories shared, and features are affected. And if you're not spiritually prepared, you could feel the weight of that conversation for weeks without ever knowing where it came from. But not anymore. Now you know. Now you see. My child, my beloved, take your authority back. You don't need to beg anyone for clarity. You don't need to confront, accuse, or defend. You've already been given something far greater than explanation. You've been given foresight, and foresight is power. It means you can pray ahead of the storm. You can block it before it forms. You can silence words that haven't even been spoken yet. And when they try to move against you tonight, they'll find confusion blank minds and doors that refuse to open, because Archangel Michael has already stepped in. Tell if you feel the shift, let heaven see your agreement. Subscribe now if you haven't already. Let this be the moment you tell the spiritual world I heard. I believed, I received, because the ones who subscribe aren't just following a message. They're entering covenant with the very angels sent to protect their timeline. My beloved, there will be consequences from tonight's meeting, but not the kind they expect. While they gather to question your intentions or discuss your name, a holy reversal is being written in heaven. They thought they were planning in secret, but they were writing their own exposure. And by the time the next sunrise arrives, God will begin revealing to you who stood against you in hidden rooms, and who tried to protect you even when no one was watching. My child, tell if you feel the shift, let heaven see your agreement. Subscribe now if you haven't already. Let this be the moment you tell the spiritual world I heard. I believed, I received, because the ones who subscribe aren't just following a message. They're entering covenant with the very angel sent to protect their timeline. My beloved, there will be consequences from tonight's meeting, but not the kind they expect. While they gather to question your intentions or discuss your name, a holy reversal is being written in heaven. They thought they were planning in secret, but they were writing their own exposure. And by the time the next sunrise arrives, God will begin revealing to you who stood against you in hidden rooms and who tried to protect you, even when no one was watching. My child, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. This message is proof that God already knows it. He values you enough to interrupt your day, break the silence, and send a divine letter signed with urgency. You are not being left alone. You are not being forgotten while people make decisions about your future. You are being positioned quietly, powerfully, to receive what they thought they could delay. My beloved, there's something else I need to tell you. There was a time when a similar meeting happened, and you didn't know about it. You walked into a season confused, heavy, unsure why everything felt harder. It's because something was decided about you in a room you didn't pray over. But this time, God is letting you interrupt it. This time, the meeting has a witness, and your prayer will shift what couldn't be shifted last time. My child, my beloved, there is still time. You still have a window to lift your voice before the words are spoken. Cover yourself. Cover your name. Call upon Archangel Michael to seal your life in light and confuse the lips of anyone who fix your name without divine permission. Because when you pray before the plan, God cancels it before it even begins. My child, my beloved, I need you to slow your breath for a moment and feel what is happening right now. This is not just reading. This is alignment. The reason your spirit feels alert, almost awake in a new way, is because heaven is leaned closer to you than usual. The silence that once protected you has now shifted into revelation. Archangel Michael did not watch quietly because he was absent. He watched because Tim play matters in the spirit. And tonight, timing has reached its edge. What is spoken will try to become law unless it is intercepted by prayer and awareness. My beloved, there are people who believe silence means permission. They believe that because you did not speak, because you did not defend yourself, because you did not interrupt, they were free to decide things about you. But heaven does not work like that. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is strategy, and sometimes silence is God waiting for the perfect moment to step in so that when He moves, no one can deny it was His hand. That moment is now, and you are being invited into it. My child, my beloved, the conversation tonight will sound ordinary to those involved. Casual words, logical points, concern disguised as care. But underneath it, there is a motive that does not come from love. Someone wants control over a narrative that belongs to God alone. Someone wants to shape how others see you because they fear what will happen if you are fully teen, fully trusted, fully elevated. They do not hate you. They fear losing position when you rise. And fear makes people speak dangerously. My beloved, you have been underestimated for a long time. People thought your kindness meant you wouldn't notice. They assumed your patience meant you were unaware. They mistook your faith for passivity. But heaven knows the truth. You are quiet because you are deep. You wait because you see further. And now that you are being shown what is happening, you are no longer standing behind events you are standing above them. That is a powerful place to be, and not many are trusted with it. My child, let me tell you something important. Words spoken about you tonight cannot override what God has written unless you abandon your oath, and you have not. By receiving this message, you have already stepped into your role as a watchman over your own life. You are now spiritually positioned to cancel assignments before they mature. This is why the enemy is uncomfortable right now. This is why confusion will hit the room where your name is mentioned. They will forget what they plan to say. They will second-guess their own thoughts. They will leave the conversation feeling unsettled without knowing why. That is divine interference. My beloved, do not be tempted to act in the natural what must be handled in the spiritual. You are not being asked to call anyone. You are not being asked to confront or accuse. You are being asked to trust that heaven fights better battles than humans ever could. Your role is alignment. Stay still. Stay aware. Stay prayerful. Speak life over your name before you sleep. Ask God to place truth on every tongue that speaks about you, or to close the tongue entirely if the intention is wrong. Heaven responds quickly to prayers prayed with clarity. My child, my beloved, there is something deeply significant about tonight that goes beyond a single conversation. This moment is connected to a larger shift in your life. What happens now determines who is allowed to walk into your next season with you. Some people are being weighed. Some loyalties are being tested. Some masks are slipping without effort. And God is not doing this to hurt you. He is doing it to free you. You cannot carry everyone into the future He has prepared for you. And now, without you lifting a finger, He is beginning the separation. My beloved, you may feel a strange peace mixed with seriousness right now. That is the correct response. Fear is not from God. Awareness is, and you are aware now. The reason this message will not be repeated is because repetition is not required when truth lands fully the first time. You are not meant to be warned again. You are meant to act once correctly and move forward protected. This is not a cycle. This is a crossing. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. You've been asking God to move. You've been crying out in private. Lord, why does it feel like things are stuck? This is why. The hold was not on your effort, it was on your name. It was on the way your name was being mishandled in private. But now that the truth is being shown to you, now that the angel of God has brought this revelation nation directly to you, you have authority to shift it. Your prayers tonight can silence the lies before they reach influence. Your obedience to this message can scatter what was being structured behind your back. Dove, if your spirit has been stirred while reading this, do not leave this moment unsealed. Subscribe right now so you are always connected to what heaven is saying next. Because when this type of message shows up, it's not random. It's rescue. And rescue is only complete when the chosen respond in time. Don't let this intervention expire. God is still speaking. My beloved, you don't need to confront anyone. You don't need to defend yourself. All you need to do is recognize what heaven is showing you, and then act in prayer and silence. The power of Archangel Michael's protection isn't in loud reactions. It's in the quiet reversal of demonic plans. While they talk tonight, your angels will surround the space. While they decide things in whispers, heaven will speak louder in the spirit. But only if you choose to align with truth, not emotion, with wisdom, not panic, with light, not fear. My child, this is a sacred moment. You've been given knowledge that others would not be trusted to carry. The conversation taking place tonight is real, but you have the ability to shape what comes from it. You are not helpless. You are not at their mercy. You are held by the hand of God, and because of that, the enemy cannot finalize anything without heaven's permission. And heaven is asking you now, will you respond? Or will you pretend this message was just coincidence? My beloved, you've been quiet long enough. You've allowed others to interpret your silence as weakness, but they didn't know you were just waiting for a sign from God. And now that the sign is here, now that the intervention has arrived, you can move forward with confidence. Let Archangel Michael go before you. Let him speak your name in the chambers of heaven with power, with justice, with fire. Let the lies be exposed without you having to say a word. That's how God operates. He vindicates silently but powerfully. My child, my beloved, the words spoken in that room tonight will never reach their full intent. Because now that you know, now that your spirit is aware, your prayers will cut through the atmosphere. Do you like a sword? And the moment you finish this message, heaven begins to act. What was being said will lose its power. What was being planned will scatter. And your destiny, the one they tried to control with conversation, will become untouchable. Because God never loses track of the ones he loves. My child, my beloved. The moment you decided to keep reading this message was the moment heaven began shifting something in your. There are certain acts of obedience that don't make noise on earth, but they shake the heavens. This is one of them. Your willingness to receive this word is not just a sign of your face, but proof of your spirit virtual authority. Not everyone was meant to see this, and fewer still would have the courage to believe it. But you did, and because of that, Archangel Michael has already been dispatched to stand near the space. Your name is being spoken tonight. My beloved, you may not be able to hear what's being said in the room, but God can. And what's more, God has the power to override it. You don't need to panic. You don't need to chase anyone for the truth. Heaven is not asking you to investigate, only to intercede. Let your spirit speak. Let your prayers go ahead of the darkness. For every sentence spoken in manipulation, let your prayer release a divine interruption. For every decision made in haste, let the angels of God cloud their understanding until will truth rises. Because when you stand in spiritual agreement with heaven, no earthly scheme can stand against you. My child, some of the delay you felt in recent months didn't come from laziness or lack of effort. Warmest timing, it came from your name being inserted into conversations you weren't aware of. Sometimes people admire your light, but try to keep you small because they fear what will happen if you rise higher than them. They disguise their resistance as concern. They mask their jealousy as advice. And while they seem supportive in person, they speak a different language in private. That's what tonight's meeting is about. That's why this warning had to come just in time. My beloved, there are blessings lined up with your name on them. Divine provisions, breakthroughs, but some of them are tied to human decisions. God may approve it in heaven, but man may hold the pen on earth. That's where the danger lies. If the person holding influence hears a twisted version of your story, your blessing could be not canceled, but delayed. And heaven doesn't want that for you. That's why this is not just a message. This is your permission to rise above what is being said behind your back and command your destiny. Need to move forward anyway. My child, my beloved, the enemy would love for you to ignore this, to click away, to say it's just coincidence. But let me ask you, has your heart not been sensing something lately? Haven't you had dreams you couldn't explain? Unsettling thoughts about certain people. Moments where it felt like someone was talking about you, but you had no proof. That's not random. That was your discernment being awakened. That was Archangel Michael whispering to your spirit ahead of time, hoping you'd notice. And now that you have, you can no longer pretend not to know. Dove, seal your place under heaven's protection now. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because this won't be the only time your name is used without your know. But the more aligned you stay with the messages heaven sends, the more unstoppable your favor comes. And the more blind your enemies will be when they try to block what God already wrote in your name. My beloved, my child, my beloved, the enemy would love for you to ignore this, to click away, to say it's just coincidence. But let me ask you, has your heart not been sensing something lately? Haven't you had dreams you couldn't explain? Unsettling thoughts about certain people. Moments where it felt like someone was talking about you, but you had no proof. That's not random. That was your discernment being awakened. That was Archangel Michael whispering to your spirit ahead of time, hoping you'd notice. And now that you have, you can no longer pretend not to know. Dove, seal your place under heaven's protection now. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because this won't be the only time your name is used without your knowledge. But the more aligned you stay with the messages heaven sends, the more unstoppable your favor comes. And the more blind your enemies will be when they try to block what God already wrote in your name. My beloved, there's a reason the Holy Spirit delayed this message until now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Because the conversation happening tonight has timing built into it. Someone was waiting until the right moment to bring up your name. They've rehearsed their story. They've planned the angle. And they believe you'll never know. But they are wrong, because God always defends His chosen. And sometimes his defense looks like an early message like this one. My child, even now while you read, there are subtle shifts happening in the spiritual realm. An angel has been positioned beside you, taking record of your heart's response. Not your words, your heart. Do you believe this? Do you accept heaven's instruction? Do you receive the authority that's been passed to you in this very moment? Because if you do, the words said about you tonight will fall to the ground. The conversation will go in circles, achieving nothing. The confusion in their spirit will multiply, and your name will be lifted in heaven's scrolls while their plans crumble. My beloved, this is not about fear. It's about preparation. God would never allow you to walk into the aftermath of something you could have stopped. And that's why this moment matters. You were chosen to hear what others were not ready for. You were selected to know what would otherwise remain hidden, and what you do next, how you respond, how you align your spirit. How do you speak over your future will determine what reaches your door. My child, my beloved, a window of grace is still open. For the next few hours, what is spoken about you can be altered, blocked, reversed. The enemy is not all-powerful, but he is strategic. And tonight's conversation is his attempt to sow one final seed of confusion before your Elay salvation arrives. But heaven in all its mercy has allowed Archangel Michael to speak this now, so you can. You can cancel that seed before it's planted, and you have all the authority you need. My child, my beloved, the hour is closer than you realize. Heaven isn't just speaking in symbols anymore. It's speaking in direct warnings, because what was once allowed to remain in the shadows is now demanding light. Tonight's conversation, though, hidden from your physical ears, is known in full detail by the Spirit of God. Nothing escapes His knowledge. And it is only His love for you that prompted this urgent message. This isn't simply to inform you, it is to deliver you, because something spoken in the next few hours could try to distort what God has declared over your life. My beloved, you are not as vulnerable as they think. While they plot in whispers, heaven responds in thunder. And the thunder is not always loud. Sometimes it is the stillness in your chest that suddenly play turns into wisdom. That's strange calm you're feeling now. That's not numbness. That's protection. The angels are already surrounding the people who plan to speak on your name. They are present to ensure that no lie, no false agreement, no deceit-filled strategy. She can succeed if your heart stays aligned with heaven. My child, let me show you what's truly happening. The person who will mention your name tonight isn't acting alone. They've been advised, influenced, possibly even spiritually deceived. Their words will be wrapped in concern, in logic, in things that sound right. But they are off by a single degree, and that one degree is enough to misalign your entire direction if not corrected. That's why God intervened. That's why He allowed Archangel Michael to break the silence. Because once this conversation is spoken, it cannot be unsaid. But its effect can still be dismantled. My beloved, don't doubt what you're feeling right now. You've been trained by pain to ignore your intuition. You've been told to wait and see, to be polite, to give others the benefit of the doubt, even when your spirit felt the stab of dishonor. But no more. This is not the time for hesitation. This is the time to pray with precision. Call your name back from the hands of those who don't carry it with love. Speak divine, covering over every space your name will be uttered tonight. Command alignment between your destiny and heaven's original script. My child, my beloved, you are not here because you stumbled on a video. You are not here by a lucky scroll. You are here because God whispered your name at the exact moment you needed to hear the truth. Your angel has been holding this scroll for days, waiting for the divine green light to hand it to you. Now that it has been given, time matters more than ever. This warning will not be repeated. What you do in the next few moments will determine whether this message serves as your confirmation. Where is the echo you remember later, wishing you had listened sooner? Tell if your heart hasn't let you go yet. That's because it knows what your mind is still processing. Subscribe now to anchor your spirit in what heaven is doing next. Let this be the moment your protection was confirmed. Let this be the moment where God stepped in and you didn't miss it. My beloved, my child, my beloved, the Spirit has confirmed it. You are still listening. That means your soul has not shut down. That means your heart is still reaching even if your hands feel tired. And that is enough. That single act of staying open, it changes everything. You may not see it, but the heavens respond to obedience more than strength. They respond to faith more than perfection. And right now, because you have not turned away, something holy has been triggered in the supernatural realm, and I must show you what happens next. First, understand this. You are about to walk into a season of visible favor. You will no longer have to explain to people what you carry. The energy around you will speak first. Your presence will shift rooms. Your silence will shake walls. Your name will reach places you haven't even dreamed of yet. Not because of your power, but because of your posture. You humbled yourself. You broke quietly. You healed slowly. And you rose anyway. And now, the God who watched you choose light and darkness is commanding the floodgates to open. Not trickle open. There are blessings that were withheld, not denied, because they would have been too heavy before. You would have shared them with people who only wanted your light, not your growth. You would have used them to comfort the parts of you that needed healing, not fuel the purpose inside. But now you are different. You are not perfect, but you are prepared. And preparation is the signal for heaven to release what has been held back. And child, what's coming will not arrive quietly. It will be loud, obvious, undeniable, sudden, and it will not come to validate your ego. It will come to prove that God kept His promise. Even when you forgot the words, even when you doubted if you heard correctly, even when you assumed you missed your moment, you didn't. You're not late. You're right on the edge of it now, and you will know it because everything ordinary around you, who is about to feel too small, the conversations you once tolerated will now feel heavy. The environments you once endured will begin to push you out. The people who once called you will grow silent, not because of offense, but because the Spirit reading them cannot coexist with what is awakening in you. And you must be okay with that, because you are not being rejected. You are being released. Released from cycles that mask themselves as comfort. Released from mindsets that made you question your own light. Released from emotions that taught you to expect just enough to survive. But now, the oil over your life has increased, and so has the responsibility. That is why I am here. Not just to comfort, but to commission. You are not being comforted so you can go back to sleep. You are being called so you can finally walk away. This next part of your life is not just about blessing, it is about becoming. And becoming will require that you stop shrinking to fit the places you've already outgrown. You have seen too much now. You've endured too much now. You've been touched by something too holy to pretend you don't hear the call anymore. So I asked you again, beloved child of the highest,